Lopez situation yesterday, that was a situation where I'm sure she wishes that it could have been a set system instead of the cumulative scoring. We will see the set system now for for Recurve here in the team competition.
Yes, that's right. So what has happened this year is that we have, World Archery has made it so that the competition for Recurve archers is all set play. And what set play means is that it's basically almost like tennis. So each archer, or each team in this case, is going to shoot a set. And one set is going to be comprised of 6 arrows, 2 arrows per archer. The team with the higher set score out of 60 points is going to get 2 set points for that set. If they tie with the other team, it's going to be 1 set point, and the loser gets no set points.
So the teams we have for the women's team bronze medal match, Japan taking on this squad from North Korea. North Korea scoring a win over the United States in a tiebreaker earlier this week, and then beating Ukraine by a score of 6-2, and then losing a shoot-off with China. Cho Sung-hui, Kang Yoon-ju, and Ryu Yoon-yang all shooting for North Korea today against the team that's seeded 7th, Japan. Japan defeated the Turks 6-0, scored a 6-2 decision over Mexico, and then fell to Colombia in a tiebreaker. Hayakawa Ren, KATO Ayano, and NAGAMINE Saori, the 3 archers competing on behalf of Japan today. So it should be a good match. The world record in this event, by the way, 231 points. South Korea posted that score in Beijing at the 2008 Olympic Games.
So here in set play for the team round, each team is trying to achieve 5 set points first. It's not like the individual competition where they're going for 6 set points. So whatever team can reach 5 first, it is possible to win 6-0, but that's over 5. So whatever team reaches 5 first will be the victor. And what I love about the 2 teams out here right now is, especially with Japan, they're always smiling. I've yet to see Japanese archers show any emotion except happiness on the shooting line. And I think that's a great skill to have no matter how you're shooting.
So a 7 to start it off for North Korea.
앞 세우고 쭉 뒤로 상하자. 쭉 뒤.
And a better effort that time on the second shot.
Now this coach from North Korea, I've seen her around a lot, and I think she does a really good job with her archers. When I competed in the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, she was definitely there. She's very vocal with her archers, and some archers need that, and some coaches are very dependent on keeping a good, tight grasp on their archers and making sure that they're all in a good headspace to shoot their arrows.
So 24 points on those first 3 shots by North Korea. Japan with its first attempt of the day.
Okay.
And a little bit high. Of course, a little bit of a feeling out period always in this first opening salvo.
Yeah, for our team, at least in Team Canada, the first person that we put up on the line is usually what we call the win flag. And we try to have a very strong archer shoot the first arrow to be able to tell everybody else what's going on the field. How is it different from the practice range? Because these archers have not shot any arrows on this field, and nobody has shot on this field yet today. So they have no data to take away to say, everybody started out high and right. So right now it looks like Japan is behind by 1 point. So there is no data for any of these archers to take from. And so they have to, they're everybody for the day's windsock. So everybody's going to be taking away what these archers are doing right now on the field of play.
These are human windsocks.
These are human windsocks.
And North Korea still trying to find the range right now.
앞에 세우고 뒤에 상하라. 뒤에 쭉.
That's a good shot. She's a little shaky on her front side, but I mean, she shot 2 9s to start herself off for Miss Ryu. And I mean, it's with the recurve, it's a little bit more crucial that you have a really good, relaxed shot, especially in these higher pressure situations. Nice shot.
Cho Sung-hui, 35 years old.
So with the recurve, because you're holding onto the string with fingers, the more tension you have in your fingers when you release the string, the more errant your shots can get. They probably won't go exactly where you wanted them to go or where you were aiming them. So it's really crucial for these archers to get as comfortable as they can, as quick as they can on the field of play.
Shooting at that target 70 meters away. Of course, yesterday it was 50 meters for compound archers.
And interestingly enough, if you look at the 10 ring, I did some calculations at 50 meters and at 70 meters, because of the target size change, the amount of variation that they have in the front arm, that's a 10, that's a good shot. The amount of variation they have in their front arm is actually pretty close. It's about 1/10 of a degree from one side of the 10 ring to the other side of the 10 ring. So both recurve and compound have a tough job on their hands to do on this field of play. And Japan takes the first set.
line.
Yeah, if it caught the line or didn't catch the line, that's the thing about set play. If it didn't catch the line, I think it would have been 50 points, but if it caught, it would have been 51. If I was reading it correctly, I missed the score here. But either way, Japan takes the first set and is leading 2-0 in the race to 5 over North Korea.
After the first set, target 149, target 251.
So there you see the score. No points for North Korea, despite shooting almost the exact same score as Japan, but Japan a little bit better, picking up those 2 set points. Ren Hayakawa, or Hayakawa Ren, excuse me. Hayakawa Ren, Kato Ayano, and Nagamine Saori. And Japan taking the early lead. But the beauty of the set system is it's not over.
No,
you have a chance to get right back into it.
It is really not over, and you can really come back from almost anything if you really put your mind to it and shoot well. So it's really not over. If there was a huge score difference in between the two teams, like for example, if Japan had shot a 60 and North Korea has shot a 50, in most matches that would almost be the match, because that's a 10-point separation, which is very hard to come back from. Since it is set play, despite that 10-point differential, it was just 2 set points won on the set. So North Korea is going to be shooting first because they are the team that is behind, so that rule hasn't changed. It typically, quote unquote, puts more pressure on the higher ranked team to shoot last and shoot well.
And North Korea starting to warm up right there. Kang Anju, 19 years old, ranked 52nd in the world with a nice 9. Using a little body language there.
That was an interesting shot, but I mean, whatever she did, she put it in the 9 ring, and it worked.
I do that when I'm bowling, Crispin, and it never works like that. Choi Sung-hui, 35 years old, looking for her first World Cup medal. Beautiful shot.
That's a good 10. So if North Korea is anything like South Korea, once they've dialed into the middle, they're going to be going at it and just pounding the center of that target.
Some spectators taking in the action from the Huangpu River.
I get very dizzy holding binoculars on a floating boat. It's a little longer shot than we'd like to see, and she's shaking a bit.
Kato Ayano, 21 years old. So Ms. Kato, who won a team bronze medal at stage 2 in Antalya last year, going after a bronze medal here in Shanghai at stage 1, 2014.
That's an 8 low. So
Nagamine Saori, who is only in her 3rd international competition, finds herself in the bronze medal match. And now it's Hayakawa Ren, 26 years old and a team bronze medalist in London.
See how happy they are? I love it.
Indomitable spirit.
Yeah. I mean, that's a skill to not let anything affect you and just be happy all the time.
We should emulate that.
Yeah, I really should.
That's
a good shot.
Yeah.
That's a 10. That was right beside her first arrow.
So North Korea is starting to warm up, get into the groove a little bit. They trailed 2-0 after the first set. And they're all in the yellow rings.
And lots of time for their last archer, 30 seconds. On average, you should be giving you can average 20 seconds per archer per arrow. And so the fact that she stepped up to the line with about 35 seconds, this team is giving her, the anchor, a lot of time.
Cho Sung-hui, limited experience on the world scene. And that time lands in the 6th ring.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate with the start that they had.
It's a good opportunity for Japan to take advantage of, though. 3 strong shots right here. And they can take a commanding lead in this match. KATO Ayano.
Steal one.
Solid 9.
So 2 more 10s will take the set. That's an 8.
So looks like North Korea.
Yes, North Korea will have this set because Japan, if they shoot a 10, will only score 53 points, and North Korea winning the set by 1 point, bringing the set score tied to 2.
Essentially kind of a free shot right there for Hayakawa Ren.
Yes.
Do you experiment in that situation a little bit? Try something just so you have that knowledge that you might be able to use later in the match, Crispin?
It would depend. It really would depend on what the situation is on the field of play. If it was a really windy day and you know that, let's say that your first 2 arrows were way out left because the wind was blowing left, maybe you might aim right and see if that 3rd arrow, which could be your sighting in arrow.
There's nothing to be lost by doing that.
Exactly, yeah. So, but some other teams like this, on this one, I would have just aimed for the middle and shot a good shot and make sure that I still had my good form and everything despite the rain. Because even though it's just misting out there, it does play havoc on an archer's finger tab. So a finger tab is that piece of leather that is between the fingers and the string, and when it gets wet, it starts to do weird things, and archers typically don't like those weird things that it starts to do. It'll start to stick to the string, it'll behave a little stiffer.
And that starts to play in your mind.
Exactly, so you might want to make sure that your equipment is still working properly. So for me personally, I would just aim in the middle and shoot the shot. Having said that, I haven't shot any international team rounds using the set system, so I can't say from personal experience I've done this, but I know that in individual competition, I just get up there and I shoot.
When you won your bronze medal, it was a beautiful day on the beach in Belek.
It was a beautiful day, and that's a day that sticks in my mind.
We'll talk more about that as the day progresses right here in North Korea, tied at 2 in the match. Shoots an 8 on the first shot. Kang Yoon-ju, 19 years old.
She didn't look very happy when she released that shot, and it was an 8 outright. Really need subtitles with the coaching here.
You would love to know what she's saying.
I would love to know what she's saying because
it is a constant stream of coaching.
So I'm wondering if she's saying, like, shoot a stronger shot or be more relaxed. I mean, it could go either way. And all arrows are off to the right, but it's showing on our wind meter here that it's not doing anything much. Maybe a little bit out to the right, but it's mainly a headwind, and sometimes a headwind is a little bit more difficult to shoot in for some archers.
So a slow start in the 3rd set for North Korea. And Japan, with KATO Ayano shooting first, also shooting to the right.
To the right, yeah, and that's weird because the flags aren't moving on the field that we can see on the screen here. And I'm trying to look for any other thing, but there's no trees. Like some venues have trees that you can
gauge the
gauge.
wind, yeah.
Exactly, especially.
Oh, she gauged that one well.
Yeah, I guess.
That's her second 10 here in this match. Nagamine Saori.
But like I was saying, you want to look at the tops of trees. You don't want to look at flags that are kind of at head level because that's not where your arrow is arcing. So arrows do go up and come back down.
Come back down, right.
So the higher you can see your gauge at the approximate height that your arrow maxes out at, that's a better gauge to use than, say, the flag that's on top of the target downrange.
Ms. Kang cashes in for North Korea. She was on the 2013 North Korean team, which won a bronze medal at the Asian Grand Prix in Mongolia. Now Ryu Hyang, 35 years old, been competing outside Korea the last 4 years.
종이 단번에 하라. 앞에
And the
세우라.
final shot of
뒤를
this set
단번에.
for North Korea.
쭉. 좋아. 조금 더.
Oh, nice shot.
Well done.
That's a good way to finish.
Well done by Choi Sung-kyu.
She didn't come off the line shaking her hand like she did the last set, so I think that one she was a little bit more relaxed off the fingers. Sometimes when you see an archer shaking their hands off, they're like telling their hand to be more relaxed. I'm not sure if exactly that's what she was doing, but that's what I do.
There's some joy and happiness for Japan.
You can see on the screen that the rain is starting to get a little heavier on the field of play. It's not just a mist anymore.
Release and just inside the line for a 9. So Japan in good position to take this set, regain the lead in the match.
So a 6 or better will take the set. There it is. And Japan is now in the lead 4-2 in set play. No.
Yes, 4-2.
4-2, yes, that's right.
4-2. Japan took a 2-0 lead after the first set. North Korea came back to tie it after the second set. Now Japan leads it 4-2 and could wrap it up in this next set. We were talking a moment ago with Crispin Duenas about his bronze medal at the World Championships in Belek. I haven't really had a chance to publicly congratulate you on that, but I thought it was a terrific moment.
Thank you. No, it was a good moment for me because everything came together for me in that match. Like my process that I went into it with.
And you're talking about years
Yes.
of getting there.
Yes, I've been shooting for at that point 13 years shooting archery for 13 years and being on national teams for 11 years. That's counting my junior years as well. But that's 9 years on the senior team. But again, I came into that match with a goal, a mindset, and a purpose to do what I do all the time. And I remember going back and watching the commentary on YouTube, and it sounded like Jay Kaminsky was saying that I looked like I was anxious. Well, you know what? I kind of was, and I wasn't going to
Understandably so.
Yeah, I mean, it's a medal match, and it was the first time I'd ever been in a medal match at a world championship level. But I told myself, you know what? I'm not going to fight being anxious. If I'm going to be anxious, let's get anxious, and let's do it. And
use that, maybe
Exactly.
the adrenaline on your behalf.
yeah, I was making archery kind of like luge. I was just trying to be get my fill of adrenaline from archery. That's a nice shot.
That'll get the adrenaline going for North Korea. Kang Un-ju, 19 years old.
거기서 준비 따가라. 앞에 딱 세워.
Great start in this fourth set for North Korea as they try to come back and tie this matchup at 4-all. Second shot a little bit to the right again.
I know that she doesn't know English, but it kind of looked like she said, what, when she released that. So,
Not what she was expecting.
again, I don't know if that's wind or if that's a wet tab. Because if the leather on your finger tab, like what we were talking about earlier, does get saturated enough, then your groups start to open up because it's not the way your equipment has been tuned, because you don't tune with a wet tab. So it's something that you have to keep, no pun, keep a tab on.
So Murphy's Law is always at work in archery.
You always have to be always vigilant.
There's always
though.
something.
Yes, exactly.
So many factors. KATO Ayano back inside the 10 ring.
And from personal experience of shooting in the rain, I've shot in probably what you saw in the compound matches yesterday. In our 2013 trials in Canada. That's a good shot. Our 2013 trials were just soaking wet. Everything was wet. My waterproof scope became non-waterproof. That's how wet it was. And the one trick that I used up there and that some people have seen me do, and I'm thinking that they might have copied me on this one.
Another great shot.
Japan is really wanting this. Little sidebar note, Japan just needs to tie Korea in this set to win the match.
That's right. One
so
more point.
I was trying to keep my tab in a Ziploc bag when I wasn't shooting, just to minimize. That's a good 10. Just to minimize the amount of water that got to my tab. Keeping it in a plastic bag was, I think, one of the benefits that I learned in shooting in the rain, and shooting that much rain.
Seems as though, I mean, you need so much focus anyway, but on a day like today or yesterday, you've got to focus even more, which obviously North Korea is doing a nice job right now with these last 2 arrows.
So potential 55 points, given that this next shot could be a 10. That's an 8.
Low,
So
Cho Sung-hui.
53 points for the set. And Japan has 5 points to play with here, I believe.
A little bit of a cushion to play with.
Yes.
Look at those fans in the stands coming out on a rainy Sunday morning in Shanghai.
Sorry, my mistake. 6 points to play with, because if they tie, they still win.
Good start.
Ayano
KATO Ayano, who was 7th this year at the Asian Grand Prix as an individual competitor. And here's the least experienced competitor for Japan, Nagamine Saori, and she's really been shooting well.
She shoots a 10.
She has been strong for Japan. Japan needing 5 to win. And they've got one of their best on the line right now, Hayakawa Ren, 26 years old and a team bronze medalist in London. And she puts the match away as Japan wins the set, takes the match 6-2.
That was a very good inaugural match for the set play system on teams. So well done to these women, and I mean, congratulations to Team Japan. They deserve it. And Team Korea, Team North Korea, that's great shooting out here, and to not go to as many international competitions as some of the other teams here and be able to come out and go to the bronze medal match, it's a very good showing.
So Japan took the early lead. North Korea tied it up in the second set, but then Japan takes the next 2 sets and wins it 6-2. And if you thought that they were smiling before, there are going to be some big smiles on the faces of those 3 young ladies, Hayakawa Ren, KATO Ayano, and Nagamine Saori. Congratulations to Japan on the bronze medal performance here at stage 1 of the 2014 archery outdoor season in Shanghai. So that'll make it a sunny day for those 3 archers.
Coming off the field of play, knowing that you're going to be getting a medal at the end.
It's a pretty good feeling.